and you look at who's saying they disapprove, a plurality of Democrats are saying right now they disapprove the way the Democrats in Congress are handling their job. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, and the Republican Party is in a great position to expand their majority in 2026, and I know, it seems kind of ludicrous to say this in, February of 2025, when the elections aren't even for another year and a half? I know it sounds crazy, but I really believe, based on new data and polling we're getting, that the Republican Party is actually in a very good position to expand their majority, at least in the Senate. I'm not going to claim that it's a foregone conclusion that Republicans expand in the House, because usually the party in power, they lose House seats the vast majority of the time, and I don't think that's going to really change this year. But at the same time, I'm having doubts that Democrats are going to be able to have this blue tsunami that some of them are claiming they're going to have. Like, I think they take back the House, but the more you look at the current metrics we got for 2026, which it's very early, but the metrics right now, they're not looking good for Dems. Now, before we continue, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content, but enough of the promotional stuff. We gotta talk about this serious possibility that not only do Republicans not suffer a disastrous defeat, there's a chance they could actually expand their majority in not just the Senate, but even the House. But like I said, I still think more than likely Democrats retake the House in 2026. It just, historically, that's usually what happens. The party in the White House, they usually lose the House in a midterm. But at the same time, Democrats are having some real bad numbers come out. Like, look at this right here. This is a poll from Quinnipiac, which they're not a far-right pollster. Everyone knows this. Quinnipiac, while they got better in 2024, they tend to overstate Democrats by a lot. In 2024, they were slightly better, but they still, at the end of the day, were pretty bad. Not as bad as 2020, where they were claiming that, oh yeah, Joe's gonna win Ohio by 5 points. He lost it by 8. But either way, Quinnipiac just released a brand new poll asking voters, do they approve or disapprove of how Democrats in Congress are doing versus Republicans? And holy crap, this is bad. Like, these numbers are DEFCON 1 for Democrats. Now, Republicans, they're not great either. Right now, it's -12 for Republicans in Congress. I mean, it's 40% approve, 52% disapprove, which is not that good. But the funny thing is, this is actually pretty good for Republicans. This same pollster, Quinnipiac, they've been asking this since, I think, 2009. And I believe it, despite it being only 40%, this is the best Republicans have ever gotten, which should explain why Republicans sucked before Trump. But either way, this is the highest they've ever gotten according to Quinnipiac. While Democrats, meanwhile, look at this. Only 22% of voters approve of the job Democrats are doing in Congress, with 68% saying they disapprove. A quick reminder that this is Quinnipiac. This is not a far-right pollster. This is a pollster that for years has dramatically overstated Democrats in nearly every single poll for like 10 years straight. Every poll, it's like, oh, Trump's going to lose Ohio. He's going to lose Iowa. He's down by 13 in Wisconsin. Every single poll. But even Quinnipiac, a very Democrat pollster, they're showing Democrats are facing a historical disaster. And I'm not saying Republicans are doing much better. Again, Republicans, they're only at 40%. But for Quinnipiac, that's a record high. While Democrats, they're in the low 20s. They're barely cracking 21% approval. And you look at who's saying they disapprove, a plurality of Democrats are saying right now they disapprove the way the Democrats in Congress are handling their job. Yeah, 49% to 40%. I mean, how can anyone look at this and say, yeah, there's nothing wrong here for Dems? Nothing. It's totally normal. And remember, this is Quinnipiac. This is not a far-right pollster. This is a pollster that, if they claim that Trump is down by 3 or 4 in Wisconsin, he's probably winning Wisconsin by 2. That's Quinnipiac in a nutshell. But even Quinnipiac is showing no one likes Democrats. Not even Democrat voters like the Democrat Party. Independents, only 19% are saying they approve of Democrats. 40% say they approve of Republicans, which is, again, not good. But compared to Democrats, I mean, you would rather be below average, like the GOP is right now, versus whatever Democrats are facing right here. This is so low that I didn't even think this was possible. This is lower than George W. Bush back in 2008, which everyone knows he was at like 25% or whatever. When you're doing worse than Bush in approval ratings, you're in trouble. You are facing a potential... You're facing a crisis as a party that, if you don't fix ASAP, you're going to lose. And I'm not saying the Republicans are going to win 2026 in a landslide by 80 points. I'm not saying Democrats are only getting 21% of the vote because, let's be honest, a large chunk of these Democrats that disapprove of the Democrat Party, they're going to vote Democrat no matter what. That's just the sad reality about it. They're going to vote Democrat no matter what happens. They can say, we hate the Democrat Party, they're awful, they're incompetent, but Orange Man bad. So we're going to vote Democrat no matter who. We're going to vote blue no matter who. That's a Democrat philosophy. But even then, you don't want to be at a 21% approval. Because at that point, you have to convince so many people that hate your guts to vote for you. Same for Republicans, but let's be honest here, a lot of Republicans that disapprove of the GOP, it's because they love Trump, but they hate the fact that Republicans in Congress, they don't know what they're doing. They want Trump's agenda passed, and right now Republicans in Congress, they're not doing it. They're doing a shitty job, and a lot of these voters are saying, well, screw you. If you're not going to support Trump, we're not going to support you either. But more than likely, a chunk of these Republicans, they're going to back the GOP in 2026. Now, some of them may not vote, but the point is, Republicans are in a much better situation just based on approval. They're not good, but it's 40%. For the Republican Party, that's a record high. While Democrats, they're barely above 20%, which is a clear rejection of the Democrat Party. I mean, it's not even close. But okay, approval for Republicans in Congress and Democrats in Congress, it's not everything. I get that. This is one pollster. Well, let's look at, I don't know, Trump's job approval, which, listen, it has gone down since the start of the term. Like, on January 25th, it was +8, but it's been steadily going down according to the RCP average. But there's a big catch to Trump's job approval slipping. Now, I'm not denying that it has gone down maybe a couple points. Like, I never expected his job approval to stay at 55%. But look at the polls on the average right now, and you notice something very apparent. There are two completely different universes happening. You have half the polls showing Trump +3, +4, +6, +9 versus Quinnipiac, Ipsos, CNN, Gallup, and they're finding Trump at -3, -4, hell, -8. Which, for those that remember, in 2024, the same thing happened. Half the pollsters, which usually they were the bad ones, they were claiming Harris is up by 15 points. She's going to win a landslide. She's winning every state. And the other half are showing, hey, Trump's winning the popular vote by 2 to 3. He's up by a point, he's up by 2, he's up in Arizona by 7. The same thing happened in 2024, and you look at who has Trump positive versus negative, who do you trust? Do you really trust Ipsos, Quinnipiac, CNN, or do you trust Trafalgar? Do you trust Rasmussen, which I know some people are not a big fan of Rasmussen, but they tend to be accurate, and Emerson? Who do you trust more? Even Survey USA and even CBS News, they're not the best. But compared to Quinnipiac and Ipsos, yeah, I'm going to trust them way more. Not just because they have Trump at positive, but because their track records are not as bad as, say, Ipsos is, which everyone knows Ipsos is a joke. And of all the negative ones, like 2 or 3 of them, they have ties to USAID, for example. So the approval polls, the ones that are actually good, the ones that actually have good track records, they're showing, hey, Trump's up at +4, +5, +6, +8, +9. Which for Trump, that's damn good. Because we're not talking about some random politician that no one ever heard about. No, this is President Trump. His job approval for years was not that good. It was always like the mid-40s, which compared to other presidents, it's not the end of the world. But the thing with Trump is it never fell below like 42%, but it never went above 50%. It never went above 48%. Well, in Trump's first couple of weeks, it's been positive throughout the entire time. Which, this is Trump we're talking about. He's very divisive. Everyone has an opinion on the guy. So it is insane to say that, yeah, Trump's approval is the highest it's ever been. And that's with some very questionable polls in the average, like Quinnipiac, like CNN pushing their crap, like Ipsos. And again, a lot could change, but if you're Democrats, you want Trump's job approval as low as possible because this is Trump. If Trump is popular, which is not just job approval, by the way, look at favorability. His favorability, despite Quinnipiac, Marquette, Pew Research, despite them pulling their same crap, look at this. His favorability is not budging. It is not budging whatsoever. And in fact, it is still the highest it's ever been. The highest before 2024 was 45%. Now it's consistently 48, 49, 50% for Trump. Which, this is Trump. His favorability should be way lower. It should be lower by 20 points because, yeah, people like Trump on the issues, but they don't really like Trump as a person, or they used to not like him. But now, they love him. They're saying, yeah, we love Trump now, and even with Marquette and Pew Research, when funny enough, actually, you look at the polls like Pew Research, Trump's favorability is the highest it's ever been. It's still negative, but all these pollsters, they're showing, yeah, Trump's favorability is a record high or close to a record high. So if Trump is popular, Democrats are unpopular. Republicans they're not popular, but at least they're not falling apart like Dems are. Is it really crazy to suggest that maybe Republicans in 2026, they could possibly expand their majority? If these are the numbers that Republicans are seeing right now, and that's with a lot of negative media, by the way, with everything that's happened the past couple of weeks with Doge and with Ukraine, Russia, with all of that, you would expect Trump's favorability and approval to tank, especially with all the negative media coverage, but it's not budging. The only polls showing Trump collapsing or quote-unquote collapsing are the same polls that had Trump losing 2020 in a landslide, losing 2024 in a landslide, losing 2016 by 30 points. These are the same polls that have sucked every single year. But okay, maybe it's possible that all the crappy polls, they're magically all correct, and all the good ones for the first time in a while, they're all incorrect. Like maybe Marquette and Ipsos and CNN, maybe by some miracle, they're finding something that no other pollster is finding, which I guess it's possible that maybe Rasmussen, Trafalgar, maybe they're off. Maybe they're having off polling and Trump is very unpopular. And in fact, there's actually some proof on the ground, according to Democrats, like, look at these town halls, which for those that don't know, there's been a bunch of town halls in recent days that have garnered a lot of national attention because these are deep red areas, these are Republican congressmen, and they're getting booed at these town halls. There's a bunch of people here, and they're booing at, like, Congressman Glenn Grothman, they're booing, I believe, Rich McCormick of Georgia. And people are saying, well, this is proof that there's something happening, that the polls are missing. Because look at this, look at all these voters. They're all booing Glenn Grothman, they are questioning him, they are attacking him for supporting Trump, and it's proof that a blue wave is happening. Well, guess what? These crowds of totally concerned and independent voters in these deep red areas, it turns out that no, these voters, they're not independents, they're not even Republicans, no. These are partisan Democrats, and if you think I'm lying, look at this. Ken Martin, the DNC chair, went on national TV on MSNBC and admitted, yeah, so we are manufacturing this outrage in these town halls. We are sending in our activists to make the Republicans look bad and try to stir up drama. That's what he admitted on MSNBC. He admitted that this is their people that are trying to screw up Republicans. They're trying to make Republicans look bad. They're trying to make it seem like these town halls in fairly Republican areas, that these are totally just Republican voters that are concerned about U.S. aid and democracy. That's what Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to manifest a reality where, oh yeah, the average voter, they love USA. They love the Democrat Party now because they are realizing, oh crap, they have a problem. They have a 21% approval. Republicans are 40%. So this is what Democrats are trying to do. They're trying to manufacture outrage to make it seem like Republicans are unpopular. Then people are going to think, oh, it's actually unpopular. I'm opposed to, I support US aid now. I'm opposed to Donald Trump. They tried the same thing back in 2024. Remember that? They try to claim, look at those crowd sizes for Kamala Harris. It's proof of a blue wave. And that went nowhere. So, listen, a lot could change. A lot could happen in the next year and a half. I mean, we may have a major scandal. Who knows? Anything could happen. Who knows? But the Republican Party, they're in a good situation. They are in a really good situation to potentially expand their majority in 2026. But anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.